What's going on, everybody? Laird Farmer 73, what's going on? It's good to see you. Come on in. I got a couple of questions. Tonight, these questions mean something, and I'll tell you about it later. But I want to throw these questions at y'all to see if let me see something. How you doing, Patient Saint? What's going on, man? It's good to see you. Let me see here. We ain't gonna be here long. I just got some questions. There we go. All right, all right. Who else we got in the house? All right. What is going on? How you doing, Pamela Townsend? How you doing? And who else we got? Brandon, how you doing? I can't pronounce your name. How you doing, Lynette Lewis? It's good to see you. Is it Lavoria? I'm trying. Truth Const. How you doing, Truth? Jesus Christ. We'll be blessed. How you doing? How you doing, Natalie? How you doing, Miss Shorty? Hey, Sean does it all. Hey, Lion, how you doing? Sun Energy, how you doing, my sister? Wells 803 Garden, how you doing? Juanita Gates, how you doing? Shawanda, how you doing? Okay, so I said it right. Good, good. How you doing, Miko Purdue? It's good to see you. Bougie Prepper, Bougie, how you doing, ma'am? It's good to see you in here. TLC in the garden. How you doing, baby? It's good to see you. And for barbecue, daily dose of living. What's up? Michelle Law. And for barbecue. In here, Polar Bear Cheryl, Truth Constance. How you doing? Regina Kelly. Where's my timer at? There we go. Okay. All right. All right. All right. So now that we got some folks in here, I guess I'm gonna say welcome, Guava. Welcome to the Greenhouse Lounge. I hope everybody is getting their gardens ready. I'm gonna start this video out with some gardening tips. The gardening tips that I have for you. First of all, I've been gardening all my life. The gardening tips I'm going to tell absolutely everybody in here, whether you've been gardening or you're new, you've never done it, you've been doing it all your life. My gardening tips for you is I don't care what you're doing. Please go plant some food today. Even if you got snow on the ground, go plant some food today. All right? Hey, C. Francis. Regina Kelly. Tina says, how right you don't like. Yeah, don't do the caps, please don't. Yeah, go plant some. Please go plant a garden. Please. Okay? I'm going to ask you this too. If it's your birthday this month, go over to the community post and post your birthday so everybody can wish you a happy birthday. Don't put it in this chat. Do not put your birthday in this chat. I want you to get the real respect that you deserve. Go put your birthday of the birthday of March in the community post that says happy birthday to all the March Madness babies. So everybody can wish you it, or your family member. It don't matter whether it's you, your family member, your grandbaby, whatever. Go put their birthday in the community post. Okay? All right. It's good to see y'all in here. Go plant some food. Okay? Does anybody have a problem with planting some food immediately? I'm not going to get into the reasons why tonight. Okay. Charles Moore says, who can I do that, or how can I do that if I don't have my own place? I don't know. What you asked me that for? Kind of, what did you thought I was going to say? How you doing, Sam? Let me hold on, my allergies. Okay. Now, what answer was you expecting? How are you supposed to do that if you don't have your own place? What did you want me to say to you? At TLC, mm-mm, mm-mm. Don't entertain that. I did a whole bunch of shucking and jiving around with that last troll in the last video. That's why I took the video down and I thought about it and I put it back up. We ain't gonna do that tonight with them. Don't entertain that foolishness. I'm not gonna entertain it tonight either. Okay. I think I went real hard for about an hour and a half with that nonsense the other day. Matter of fact, let's just do this here. Let's just so we don't got to. Okay. All right. So this is gonna be a positive podcast tonight. We ain't gonna engage the trolls. Not tonight. We gave them too much of our time the other day. Okay. And you know what was funny? What was funny was we was having a really good video, and then I engaged the trolls and it all went downhill from there. Okay. Congratulations, Darnell. You just got some hens today. Congratulations. Tam, you say you're not ready. Michigan weather? Go plant it anyway. Let's see. All right. Please go plant some food. Everybody. I'm not yeah, okay. Which one, TLC? Because all I saw was somebody with no thumbnail. No, I ain't talking about him. I'm talking that what? No, that other dude in this one. I ain't talking about the other video. No, I'm not talking about that. Pamela Townsend said I started an avocado. Would you start it from seed? Okay. All right. Let's get on with this. I'm about to ask some questions. The only reason I said something about gardening and start your gardening. I don't got to tell y'all what's going on in the world, right? I don't got to tell you what's happening. All I can say is, and not just plant some food, what do you need in your house? What supplies do you need inside of your home right now that'll get you by for about 6 months? If you need food and supplies and water for at least 6 months, everybody, okay? everybody. And that's all I got to say about that. I'm just here tonight to ask y'all some questions. Let me see. C. France said, I went through my first aid supplies this evening. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. Let's see. Thank you, Led. Hubs and I took your advice 4 years ago, sold our house, bought 10 acres, prepped and stocked. We now have 14 fruit trees, garden, greenhouse, power station, chicks and goats. Okay, congratulations. Congratulations. I'm going to ask y'all a series of questions, and I hope you answer them. I'm going to tell you why later, but right now, I want to see if you can answer it. We got about, I'm going to wait till we got about, oh, shoot. We got 300 people in the house. we got 300 people in the house. I'm going to go ahead and ask the questions. Question number 1. Do you think you could camp in the woods for one weekend, 3 days? Like you get there Friday morning, 5 a.m., and you don't leave till Monday morning, 5 a.m. I want to hear that first because these questions are going to get a little deeper. Everybody answer. Do you think you could camp in the woods for 3 whole days? Getting there Friday at 5 a.m. in the morning. And you get off running. Ain't no sitting around sipping coffee, nothing. I'm going to tell you why in a minute. If you think you could do it, say yes. If you don't think you could do it, say no. If you're not sure, say you're not sure. 5 a.m. Friday morning, all the way till 5 a.m. Monday morning. Okay, it's a lot of yeses. And Gretchen, thank you for being honest. It says no, because I've never done that before. Okay. Okay. Thanks for being honest. All right. Sanja says not sure. Okay. Golden Whisper says, am I alone? I don't know. Am I alone? There's several people saying they're not sure. Lavoria says, no, not a chance, but almost prepared. Okay. Sir Jess, not sure. All right. Ernestine says, no, I live in the city all my life. Okay. Okay. What's up about that life? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Let's keep it rolling here. Bouger Prepper said, I could, but not sure with special needs adult. Okay. Okay, that is a good twist. Somebody else that needs extra care. That's a good twist. That's something that we got to think about. Okay. Okay. Angela says, I'm not sure. I have a 91-year-old mother. Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm going to say this. Wait, I got one more here. Miss Shorty says, not sure. Akasha says, as long as I have what I need, especially my pots. All right, now things is going to get a little rougher, but before we go deeper, because I got a lot of questions for you, okay? There are several people here with special needs family members. There are several people here with elderly adults, family members that need a little extra help. Okay, I'm going to say this. What if this is not a survival thing? Okay, this is not the end of the world, apocalyptic type of situation. So imagine you had somebody to care for your loved one while you was gone. Let's just say it's a trip. Okay, let's just say it's a trip. So if somebody could provide care to your to your loved one that needs extra care for that 3 days, do you think you personally could do it? Bougie Prepper, I know you can because you've done it already. Okay. And somebody else said they have a 91-year-old mother. Do you think you could do it if you had somebody to care for her for the 3 days? Okay. And somebody else also had a Sanja, special needs family member. Okay. But do you think, Sanja, you could pull it off if care was provided for the 3 days for your son? Okay. This isn't about the apocalypse today. Okay, we ain't doing that. Not today. It's enough going in the news right now that I'm sick of hearing it myself. The doom and the gloom part. TLC says, with a hefty first aid kit, I might. These allergies, especially with big, oh my goodness, because my allergies is banging. But here we go. Here we go. Now, things is about to get a little turned up because it's a lot of yeses here. It's a handful of no's, but it's a lot of yeses. All right. Here goes question number 2. Question number 2. Do you think you can make a shelter if you could only bring 20 items? You would have to pick out what 20 items you're going to bring. 20 items only. I wouldn't count things like your hearing aid, your glasses. I wouldn't count things that you need. Okay, your dentures. I don't count that stuff. I'm talking about as far as your survival gear, you can only bring 20 items. No shelter. No tent. No tent. So, do you think you can make a shelter and you can only bring 20 items? But you cannot bring any sort of tent. Nothing. Okay. Gretchen says no, because I don't know how. Okay, thank you for being honest. Thank you, TLC, tarp, paracord. Those are 2 items that's necessary. I'm going to ask these questions. I'm going to actually ask questions that's going to help you know what to bring. LA says scratch that. No. Okay. Grown folks says, I guess with tarp and cordage. Okay. Do you think you could make a shelter with your tarp, your cordage, and the wild trees around you? Remember, you're going to be in this shelter for 3 days. A tarp might not, tarp will make it rough. Okay. Ooh. Them no's is coming in strong now. Juanita said no, but I will try. Y'all excuse me with this blowing my nose business. My allergies is tearing me apart. But I had to get this video out. All right. Welcome everybody coming in now. I want y'all to answer. If you just coming in the room now, you can still answer these questions, okay? Brain says, I feel like I can with some. I don't understand what that. Natalie says not sure. Cosmic says yes, I can definitely make a shelter with minimal tools. Okay. Sun Energy says yes, I will use tree branches as well. Okay. Good one. Okay. Tamrov says yes. Uh Monique Songbird says no. Okay. Outside the Matrix says we do stuff like this for fun. Okay. All right. Dorothy Hill says no, too much city life. Okay. I'm not knocking nobody for no answers. Not today. I'm not doing it today. All I'm doing today is we gonna talk. We're gonna chop it up. Okay. Okay. TLC in the garden says I've seen it done but never tried it. Okay. Okay. Sandra Giller says I think I could. I make miniature houses with wood. I'd like to try. Okay. All right. Sandra says I will go into survival mode, hatchet or knife, some rope. Okay. Okay. All right. Lynette says, guess I'm picturing rain or snow. That's why I said no. No, you doing right. We imagine we have no control over the weather. We don't know whether it's going to be hot. We don't know whether it's going to be cold. Okay. The temperature will fluctuate. So you're doing right. It may be a little chilly. It may be a little hot. It may be a little humid. Okay. Uh Akasha says pots. What about pots? You keep saying pots. What is pots? Hey, Missy Hawk, how you doing, my sister? I know you're gonna love this one. All right, all right. Here we go. I'm gonna keep this going so we don't be here too long. Okay. All right. Would you like to learn different ways to use? Oh, would you like to learn how to trap for your food? Would you like to learn how to set traps for your food? If you already know how to set traps for your food, say, I already know how. Would you like to learn how to set traps for your food? Suzanne says, yes, please on trapping. Sandra says, yes, but what? Boucher Prepper, what, Boucher? Caitlin says, yes. Ladybug, yes. Sun Energy says, yes, I already know how. Okay. Sandra, yes. No, we're not talking about guns and slingshots. I said, would you like to know how to trap? If you know how to trap food, no weapons. We're talking about trapping, not hunting. Okay, all right. Patrice says already know how, know and can skin and cook with some brown gravy. Okay, so just to give you a little idea of what we're talking about. Trapping for squirrels and rabbits. Would you like to know how to build a trap for a squirrel or a rabbit? We're talking about small game. Now stick with that because I'm only going to be focusing on small game. Okay? Like squirrels, rabbits. We're not talking about deer and none of that stuff. Okay? No wild hogs. We're not talking about that yet. We're talking about things that's everywhere. Okay? Muskrats, raccoons, beavers. I've never eaten raccoon. I've never eaten possum. I've eaten beaver, but I've Just jokes. I've eaten beaver. I've eaten beaver. I've never eaten raccoon. I've never eaten possum. Okay. Okay, we're gonna keep it going. We're gonna keep it going. So a lot of people want to learn how to trap small game. Okay. Would you like to learn how to forage for food? Bouger Purpose said, I can't do it. What? Not you, Bouger. You can, I know you can do it. Would you like to learn how to forage for food? Stay with me because there's a lot more questions coming. This whole video is going to be questions. It's not going to be me flying off the handle or some troll or something. This is going to be some really good questions to answer and to think about, okay? I came up with this early this morning when I got here. I said, I think people really want to know this. Stop jumping the gun, Akasha, okay? Stop jumping the gun. Please, let's stick with one subject at a time. Don't jump the gun, okay? We answering one question at a time. All right, if you would like to learn how to forage for food, meaning learning what mushrooms you can eat, what mushrooms you can't, what plants and berries and twigs and bark, would you like to know what's edible and what's poisonous? Would you like to know that? I'm not going to ask that because that's going to be the last question. Okay. Here's another question for you coming. Yeah, bring them yeses in. That's what I'm talking about. Grown folks says no because you really have to know what you're doing. Listen, grown folks, we said, would you like to learn how to do it? I didn't say, do you want me to set you loose in the woods so you can figure it out on your own? No, I'm talking about, let me go ahead and spill the beans. Would you like to join this class? Is what I'm telling you. Okay. Okay. I was going to save that for last, but that's what this is all about. All right. Here's a good one. Now, where's my friend Akasha? Akasha, where you at? Oh, jumping the gun and whatnot. Akasha, you here? Where you at, sister? Are you a woman or? Because I don't know what Akasha means. All right, there you go. All right. There you go. Would you like to learn how to bow hunt for small game? Would you like to learn how to use a bow and arrow to hunt for small games? Rabbits, squirrels, small games, possums, raccoons. Would you like to learn how to use a bow and arrow to hunt for those small animals? Sun Energy, oh, yes, yes. Daily Dose says, yes, gratitude. Yes, okay. Okay. B. Jones says, yes. Natalie, okay. Yes. Cosmic, I already use a bow. Good, good. Sandra says, yes, absolutely. CC says, yes. Lil Dude says, yes. My Own Beautiful. How you doing, My Own Beautiful? Says, yes, I really need to practice. I haven't done archery in a minute. Okay. Missy Hawk, I know you say yes. Okay. Let me see. Tanya's Gardening says, yes. Okay, Akasha, yes. Beverly McLean, yes. Angela Cheney, yes. Sandra says yes. Suzanne, yes, because I'm looking to buy a recurve bow. Okay, I'm glad you said that. Well, who said that? Suzanne Whiter or Weeder. Listen to this. The bow and arrow will not be a compound bow. The bow and arrow is not going to be a slips my brain right now. We will only be using an old school recurve bow, a long bow, if you will. No, it ain't gonna be no Daryl Dixon stuff going on. All right. I'm gonna keep these questions going fast. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to ask you some questions about your gear. Do you have an axe? How many people own an axe, a small hatchet? It can be a small hatchet, or it can be a full-size axe, or it can actually even be a 24-inch, 27-inch axe, or it can be a 37-inch. The situation that I'm thinking of, a good 24, 27-inch axe or a hatchet will suffice. Okay. I would say machete, but I would go with the axe. Okay. Right now, with what I'm thinking, I will go with an axe or a hatchet over a machete. Okay. I'm gonna keep these questions coming. All right. Do you have a folding saw? Like a silky saw? Do you have one that folds out, a saw? How many people own one of those? If you don't know what a silky saw is, I can show you real quick. Okay, Bouger Purpose says no. Who is this? Elysium says no. Michelle says no. TLC, no. Sean Does It All says no. Okay. Ladybug, yes. C. Francis, yes. Patient Saint, yes. Juanita Gates, yes. Regina, no, we ain't gonna do a machete. Let's not do machete on this one, okay? Because what I have in my head, a folding saw and an axe. We're gonna leave the machete out on this one, okay? Sandra says, show me. Okay, give me 2 ticks. Okay. All right. This is the folding saw. This is a silky. Like that. This is going to be a necessity. Okay. Something like this. It does not have to be a silky saw, but this is a necessity. Okay. And it locks in. All right. I have them in several different sizes. I have the small pocket size, the long ones, longer. Okay. Another question. Do you have like a compact shovel of some sort? It can be a folding shovel. It could be a compact shovel. Hell, it really can be like a hand shovel, but that's a lot of work for a little bitty hand shovel. Okay. Do you have a shovel? Can you acquire or purchase a shovel, something like this? The reason why I like this is because you can take this handle out. See how short that is? It's short and stubby because you can also chop wood with it. But for the most part, I use it for digging. You see, I done tore it up, right? This handle, if you take these screws off out of the side, this handle slides right out of this sleeve. and you can go and whittle you a branch and make a longer handle so you can really get some work done. Okay? So if you don't have a shovel, please get one. If you don't have a folding saw, again, it does not have to be a Silky. Silky is pretty much one of the professional brands, professional grade. So that's why I got it. Okay, I got a lot of off-brand stuff, but you know, I got this. I had a good deal and it does work. So I keep it with me. A folding saw is a necessity. Okay. Let me see something. Okay. All right. Okay, let's keep it going. Let's keep it moving. Because I don't want to keep y'all here all night. We already been in here 30 minutes. All right, y'all. Do you have paracord? Do you have cordage? Do you have something to tie these sticks, twigs, and things together with? Okay. What's going on, Rucker Homestead? What's up, man? We need paracord. Do you have paracord? Do you have enough paracord? I say get at least 100 yards of it. Okay. At least 100 yards. That sounds like ridiculousness, right? That's what, man, I go through 100 feet of paracord like nothing. So I start thinking I really need to invest in a nice big spool of paracord and then take it off the spool and tie it up myself and put it in my bag because 100 feet ain't nothing. 200 feet ain't nothing. 100 feet, I just used 100 feet of paracord tying up a pig and lifting it with my tractor and pulling it out of the mud out of my tractor. And I said, that wasn't as long as I thought it was. So 100 feet ain't nothing, okay? I'm going to keep it going. This is a very important one, okay? Do you have a ferro rod? Do you have a ferro rod? Do you know what a ferro rod is? If you don't know what a ferro rod is, I will show you. Okay, my own beautiful says, yes, I got two. Bougie Prepper, I know you got one. Okay, Bougie Prepper got one. Missy Hawk, I know you got one in every pocket, Missy Hawk. Patient Saint said, oh yeah, various sizes. Okay. Grown folks' perspectives, yes. Sean does it all. No, Sean, ferro rod. If you don't know what a ferro rod is, I will show you. Just ask me and I'll show you. Come on, Sean. I've been watching you, sister. Come on. Let me see. Okay. Yes, paracord, ferro rod. Okay. Okay. Okay, Cosmic. Yeah, I have 20 of them. I don't know how many I got. Sanja says no. What's that? Okay, give me 2 ticks. I'll show you. I got them everywhere. They're literally, I literally carry them around with me on every single bag I own. Every bag I touch, not even just my survival bag, but bags that I take with me, my everyday carry bags, I keep them on ferro rod and then I tie them off around the loops or the shoulder straps of my bag like this. All I do is this, pull it through, and keep it on my bag. I never leave without them, okay? This is what it is. It's a ferro rod. All this is a stick of magnesium. And you can use the little clip that it comes with, or you can use, oh, I can't believe this. I was just tripping a minute ago. Okay. Or you can use your knife, the back of your knife. Okay. Here's the magnesium ferro rod. Here's my knife. Now, let me see. Just for giggles, I'm gonna try not to set myself upon fire. Okay. So, all you do, you get some tinder, some leaves, some pine needles, some paper, and you can pull it or you can scrape it, either way. Let's do it the old school way. Ooh, I'm trying to do this so I don't set too much stuff on fire here. Let me stop before I burn this mother down. My silly self. But this is how you do it. You can use your knife that you carry every day, or you can use the little starter that comes with it too. Okay? All right. I was having too much fun. I knew. So let me stop. Let me stop. My wife is not here. And you know, I heard her in my head because usually she'll say, stop for you burn us up. Okay. Do you have a compass? A compass. I look, and I got one right here on my whistle. A magnetic compass to find direction. Everybody, these don't cost nothing. Everybody should have this. It don't gotta have the whistle part on it. It's helpful though. She thought I'm yelling at her. But this, the reason I like this so much, it has several things to it. It's dirt cheap, but it has a safety whistle. If you get lost, somebody can hear that whistle, okay? The thermometer, give or take, it could be useful. But the compass, this is one of my favorite parts of this whistle. That's why I have one of these on everything I have. It also has a magnifying glass. Now, you're probably thinking, Led, I don't plan on doing any easy reading out in the woods. It's not what that's for. This will help you start a fire. If you focus this in the sun and you direct it perfectly on that paper, just like this, this will set this paper on fire. Okay? And I think this costs like $5. They got them at Walmart. They got them on Amazon. They got them on Temu. They don't cost anything. Sometimes you can buy them in a pack of 10 or 20. Okay? All right. We're going to keep on going. I want to keep this moving. I told you this is going to be full of just questions. If you can go back in this video and listen to the questions again and write all this stuff down, because these are things you're going to need. All right? All right. Now, here's one of my favorite. Would you like to learn how to make a friction fire? Would you like to learn how to make a friction fire? Meaning, would you like to make a fire by rubbing two sticks together, basically, in one way, form, or another? Would you like to learn how to make a friction fire? Meaning, you don't have a ferro rod, you don't have a lighter, you don't have a flint stone, you don't have nothing. You're in the woods, your car stopped, you're in a rental car, so you don't have all your equipment, or you had to catch a plane somewhere, so you're in a city with none of your bug out gear. Your car stopped, side of the road, in the back of nowhere. It's getting cold. Would you like to know how to take two sticks and turn that into heat? Okay, stick with me. That's just a question. Everybody is saying yes. Tam Rob says yes. She can cook it up says yes. My own beautiful, yes. That part seems difficult but important. You want to know what? Depending on what style you use, it's not difficult. Missy Hawk is the champion. I ain't gonna go there, but she said that's a great skill to have. Missy Hawk learned how to start a friction fire with two sticks, and she made a fire. I mean, a whole fire, not no little. I'm talking about some, oh my God, somebody get a bucket of water. Okay, so and congratulations to Missy Hawk. Congratulations, because that was the bomb. Okay. Now here's another something that I know I'm going to pull out. Let me see. Ladybug says Lady Lid has a video of that. Absolutely. I'm going to end up just bringing one of my bags in here. That's probably for the best. All right. Next question. Because I don't see nobody say no. I don't want to learn how to do no fire. Okay. Do you have a multi-tool? If you do not know what a multi-tool is, I will show you. Do you have a multi-tool? Okay. My own beautiful says yes. See, Francis said I got a few. Lynette says yes. Uh, Queen Zuri says yes. Sun Energy says yes. Sandra Giller says yes. LA says yes. Sean Does It All says yes. Audrey's Living Life says yes. Pat says yes. TLC need to go get another one. Okay. Grows a Lot says yes. Sun Energy said one in each bug out bag. Me too. I actually have multiple in every bag, just like I got these ferro rod. Multiple. And I use this stuff almost every day. All of it. When I'm starting a fire at home, like in the cabin, I can use a lighter. But sometimes if I got time and I'm not freezing my butt off, I use my ferro rod every single time. No matter how long it takes. If it's not an emergency, I'm using my ferro rod to get my fire started. Just to practice. All right. All right. So let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. If you do not have a multi-tool, please get one. I'm not going to name off what brand multi-tool to get because a lot of different brands now are really, 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 really good. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. Believe it or not, I hate to keep giving them credit, but Ozark Trails, Walmart, they got some pretty good stuff. All right. You know what? I was going to skip right by it, but I see quite a few people asking me what is a multi-tool. So let me get it. Okay. Give me 2 ticks. All right. Look at this. I grabbed 2 knives. Look at it. See? Can you see how I mixed this all up? Look. Okay. Still mixing up. This is a multi-tool for the people that don't know. Okay? This is a Leatherman. You don't have to buy a Leatherman. It's so many different brands. It's way cheaper, just as good, if not better. So please, before you buy a Leatherman, go shop around. Okay? So a multi-tool is a tool that fits in the palm of your hand or fits in your pocket. Usually comes with a sheath like this. Okay? Fits in. Keep it on your hip. Keep it in your bag. And it usually comes with, one of the main tools is pliers. Pliers, wire cutters, wire strippers, several different sizes and kinds of knives. Here's a knife here. It usually has like a saw tucked away in there somewhere. Let me see what I got. I got so many, I got to remember there's a sharp edge, a straight edge blade. And it usually has like a file, a awl is so you can sew stuff together. You might have to sew some leather after you're hunting. It's so many different tools in just one. So it'll be totally up to you which one you get. Like I have several of them that have pairs of scissors in them and everything. But a multi-tool, you can get them at the dollar store, and I wouldn't put my trust in them, but you can do it, okay? They got them at dollar stores, but, you know, I will go with Walmart before the dollar store, okay? I'm not saying they won't save your life. I'm just saying. Okay. So that's the multi-tool. Next question. Do you have a knife? I'm not talking about a steak knife. I'm not talking about a little poker. I'm talking about, do you have a survival knife? If you do not have a survival knife, I will give you 2 examples of a survival knife. Give me 2 ticks. All right. I got to open up a brand new one because the rest of my stuff is in my bag. All right. This is a survival knife. Okay, something like that. Nice straight back. Full tang meaning this metal goes through this handle and comes out the back. Usually comes with a sheath. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. You can fight with it. Okay? You can cut with it. You can do everything with it. The reason I say a survival knife is because, for instance, here's my everyday carry knife. Something like this, right? You're not going to be able, you can do a lot of stuff with this. You can. You can do a lot with this. But when it comes to some hardcore work that you really got to put in with your knife, okay, it's going to be times where this is going to come in more handy than this will. Like when you're building your shelter. This is going to be fine-tuning things that you're doing around the camp and your everyday moving through the woods. This is what you're going to be needing. If you catch a nice fish, you're going to have to cut it up. If you need to start cutting wood and you're in the middle of nowhere and you don't have this with you, you got this. You can dig with this. You can bore holes with this. Those are things that you will not really be able to really do with precision with this, even though these are nice. For instance, old school buck knife. Everybody loves this. Now I'm gonna tell you, this may counter this, because this has been saving lives for a long time. I want you to look at the thickness of that blade. Look at the length of that blade, right? Look at that grip, right? This one has saved a lot of lives. This has proven itself, okay? This is like the Glock of knives. Would I use this the same way I use this? Almost. The only problem I would have with this is I would get real nervous if I had to keep jabbing into wood or doing this or banging. I would get a little nervous with that. I would get a little nervous with twisting side to side because this is on a hinge system. But other than that, this is close. Okay? Fighting, I would trust this with my life fighting. So, something like this, I got several different kinds to show you, but this is pretty much, the size, the shape, the feel, the balance. This is kind of what I'm talking about when I say like a survival knife. It can be any kind of knife you want. If you pull a knife out of the kitchen, they're just not built like this. Okay? They're just not built like this. All right. Oh, my Renaissance grandma. How you doing, my Renaissance grandma? It's good to see you in here. I see Bouger saying something to you. I couldn't see it. See you. Where you at? Dave Busby in the house. How you doing, brother? How you doing? Where's Rucker Homestead? How you doing, man? Dave Busby. Okay. Missy Hawk says, I purchased several of my own and also inherited several of my dad's knives and multi-tools. Okay. Pamela Townsend says, yes, but you catch yourself with the buck knife. Yes, no hand guard. Well, this really doesn't have a hand. I mean, that's really not a good hand guard either, So you won't cut yourself. I use this thing for everything. And if you hold it right, it kind of got that same lump in it, and you can choke up on that too. The way we could. I know you're here, bro. I know you're here, brother. Rucker Homestead. I know. We'll talk, brother. We'll talk. Okay, I'm gonna keep this going. Okay, we're gonna keep this going. We've been in here. Oh my God, we've been in here an hour. Let me speed this up. Okay, I didn't want to keep y'all here that long, so let me speed it up. I was having too much fun. All right. Here's some more questions for you. Cosmic says, buck knife to me, best knife of all time. Cosmic, I'm right there with you. I hate to say it. You want to know why buck knife to me is one of the best knives of all time? Man, when I grew up, every man Every man I've ever ran into, knew, met, had a buck knife. And he either peeling, my daddy had a buck knife. I still got all his buck knives. And he'll be peeling his apples, cleaning under his nails, you name it. He fixing on the car, he pull his buck knife. Let me show you. This, and I can't make this up. This was one of my dad's favorite kind of buck knives. One of those little needle buck knives, little pin needle. He kept these in his pocket at all times. He would have his big one like this on him, but he always kept that little pin needle buck knife deep down in his pocket with his change, you know. He kept that down there with his change too. So I don't know. And I said, you know, I'm just really, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm copying off my dad because I use my little knife for a lot of stuff and I use my big one for a lot of stuff. So it worked for my dad his entire life. And I said, it ain't, how can it do me wrong? I have no proof of how well it is and how it can help you besides every man I've ever known in my entire life growing up had a buck knife in their pocket somewhere. I done even seen somebody almost get stabbed. Like, give me my money, sucker. When he say, give me my money, sucker, he flip out one of them buck knives. Don't make me cut you, sucker. And buck knife. Okay. B. Jones. Oh, that's a good question, B. Jones. B. Jones says, does the knife need to be serrated on one side? B. Jones, I am not a fan of serrated knives, like at all. I see zero use for a serrated knife besides trying to saw into something. And that's why I said, do you have a multi-tool? I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, I don't like serrated knives at all. On the front, the back, nothing. I don't want it serrated. So to each his own. If that's what you like, go for it. I am not a fan. I have never had a knife with a serrated front or back on it, and it ever helped me do a damn thing. And the saw part never really works or anything. It's just annoying and a waste of space to me for what my application. I'm gonna keep these questions coming, y'all. Let's get back on the trail here. All right. Do you think, Dave Busby says, I have all my uncle's knives, been carrying them since the 70s. Do you think you could survive? Now remember, we camping for 3 days, 3 solid days. This ain't like checking in a hotel. You're going to be there 5 a.m. in the morning, Friday morning, and you won't leave till 5 a.m. Monday morning. Okay. Do you think you could survive on 1 gallon of water per day? Now, before you say yes, I'm going to repeat it. Do you think you can survive off of 1 gallon of water per day? Before you say yes, because I know y'all about to say yes. That means drinking, bathing, cooking, and whatever else you plan on doing. Washing your dishes, washing your food, using it to cook with your food, and drinking and hydration. 1 gallon per day. Do you think you could do that? Everybody answer. Just the thought of that made me thirsty. Sun Energy says, yes, I definitely can. My Own Beautiful says, maybe. Daily says, I hate to say it, but no. Okay, Bougie Prepper said, yes, would be very challenging for sure. Absolutely. Okay. OLW says yes. All right. Let me see here. How you doing, Sweet Thumb? Good to see you in here. Destiny Garden says no. Sandra says maybe. TLC says no. 1 gallon is drinking only. Missy Hawk says yes. I know you can, Missy. Missy Hawk says yes. Cosmic says maybe. Grown folks perspective says never could make it. Never could have made it. Never could have made it without you. Thought I lost it all. Let me see. Let's see. I can't pronounce you. Israel says 1 gallon of water a day, sir. Angela says no. Gratitude says I can, but I would not want to. Okay. I'm glad y'all being honest, because that's all I want in this one. We ain't flying off the handle or nothing. I just want honesty. Okay. Sandra says, for myself alone, yes. No, this is just for you. Okay. We remember we got our family members being cared for somewhere else. Okay. This is just for you. So you're saying you could do it for yourself. Pamela Townsend says, is this hypothetical, Mr. Led? I could use 1 gallon, but would prefer 2 gallons. No. These are just questions. And don't stretch it no further than what I asked you. 1 gallon. Do you think you could use 1 gallon per day if you were rationed 1 gallon of water a day? Do you think you can make that work for absolutely everything that you got going on? Meaning now let's talk about something else. Let's talk about something else. You know, what if your clothes start stinking, right? There will come a time where something is not going to get done because water may have to be used for hygienic purposes, like to wash your shirt, wash your drawers out. You know what I'm saying? Because no matter what, you're not going to be able to do that. You know, just because you don't mind stinking, it's still, you can't let it go too long, especially ladies. Ladies, you know good and well, you can't let that go too long. You know, you that creates disease, and it creates, you know. And when I keep talking about ladies, for men too, you know, balls go sideways quick. I had to think about myself. Balls go sideways too. Okay, and that creates disease and bacteria. All right. Okay, let's keep it going. My Renaissance grandma said, I could if I didn't have water, my hydroponics or flush the toilet. No, my Renaissance grandma, we in the woods. We talking about being in the woods with this stuff. Okay. All right, we're going to keep it going. We almost done. This is a question that I need to know. I'm going to even stop and I'm going to ask the question and I'm going to repeat everybody's answer. Do you remember, we're in the woods for 3 solid days. Do you think that you could live without electricity and technology? There will be no electric lights, no flashlights, no batteries, no cell phones, no computers, no pagers, no walkie-talkies, no radios, absolutely no electronics. If you have a watch, it needs to be a wind-up watch. You can go and get a clock from Walmart, one of them old school wind-up clocks. That's the only kind you can have. Oh, you good, my Renaissance grandma. I know you just came in. Now, that's why I say I'm catching everybody up. We in the woods for 3 solid days. Can you do it? And please go back and watch this video because you can answer these yourself. And I don't fly off the hand, don't go on a troll hunt or nothing. This is straight up questions. Do y'all think that y'all could live without electricity and technology, electronic technology of any and all sorts for 3 solid days? TLC said, would not like it, but yes. Everybody says yes. Mimi says, oh, wow, I need to have a friend with me. Mimi, imagine this, because I'm going to go ahead and drop some more beans. Imagine there's 500 people in this chat. Imagine there are 500 people at our camp. So we would all be together. Okay? So you will have plenty of friends to ask and other people to keep you strong. Okay? Kimberly Butler says, as long as I have fire for light. We covered that earlier. Okay. Sweet Thumb says 3 days easy. I might even like it if I have a decent place to rest. That, my friend Sweet Thumb, is what we are about to talk about. When we said, do you think you can make a shelter? Do you think you can make your own bed out of materials you find in the woods? Do you think you can make a bed out of the materials that you find in the woods? Grass, sticks, pine needles, branches, logs. Do you think you could make it comfortable for you to sleep? Remember, the shelter for everybody coming in the room, we spoke about building our own shelters. Do you think you could build your own shelters with everything that's surrounding you in the wood, in the landscape? You can only bring 20 items with you, but you cannot bring a tent. You can bring 3 items or supplies with you. None of them can be a tent. So you would have to build your own shelter. So on top of building your own shelter, you would also have to build your own bed or make, let's see. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So we can make a bed. Everybody can make a bed. Lynette says, yes, need fire for light and protection. We are going to learn how to make fire and light for protection. Okay. We covered that earlier on in this video. Excuse me. Okay. I'm going to keep going. This list is a little longer than I thought it would. Okay. Now, we're going to get a little crazy. Do you think that you can relieve yourself in a 5-gallon bucket for 3 days? That does not mean you have to leave the stuff in the bucket. I need to say that. Would you have a problem doing a number 1 and a number 2, we're going to call it a 12, in a 5-gallon bucket to relieve yourself for 3 solid days? No wasting water, no flushing water. There will be nothing that has anything to do with water to relieve yourself whatsoever for 3 days. Do you think you could? I'm trying to be professional here. Do you think you could relieve yourself, number 1 and number 2, or a 12 in a 5-gallon bucket for 3 solid days? Outward Key says, don't like it, but yes, I could and would. Okay. I'm going to keep my eye on you too, Key. I'm going to keep my eye on you. Cause Key, you seem like you will be down. to do some camping. All right, all right. Mr. Barnes says 5-gallon bucket for 3 days. I dig a small hole each time. There you go. Trust me, the bucket is comfortable, and everybody ain't gonna be squatting over no hole. The hole there, let's just say, there is a hole to go dump your waste in. So after you done using your bucket, you go throw it in the pit of despair, okay? So you ain't got to be trying to squat over no hole. We ain't in the military. You do your business, take it to the hole, okay? I'm just trying to be realistic. All right. So everybody says yes, they wouldn't mind using a 5-gallon bucket for 3 days and to relieve themselves. All right. All right. Now, would you like to know how to garden? This is my next question. Would you like to learn how to garden and plant trees in an orchard? Would you like to learn how to garden and plant fruit trees and build your own orchard? If you would like to, say yes. If you already know how to, says I already do that. Okay? If you don't want to, just say no. I'm going to repeat it. If you would like to know how to garden, I'm talking about hands-on. We're not going to be doing too much talking. Would you like to put your little garden gloves on, get your little garden shovel, and get you a pack of seeds, pick you a pack of seeds out of this pile, and go plant that? Would you like to do that? Okay. Or a fruit tree? Okay. Show you how to plant a fruit tree. All right, everybody, Renaissance Grandma already doing that. Okay. Everybody, that's a lot of people say already doing it. So, but it's a lot of people say absolutely, I would love to do that. MIC says already do that. All right. Y'all spelling that wrong. Already do that. DAT. Already do that. Already do that. All right. Dave Busby, already do that. Gratitude, Grace, yes, I garden now. And I have planted 3 trees, but it's by trial and error. Would love a class though. Okay. Tam says, learn how to plant a fruit tree. All right. I do a little gardening already. All right, Sandra. All right. Okay. All right. Sweet Thumb, I do that there. Okay, that's what I'm talking about, Sweet Thumb. I do that there. North Carolina, South Carolina, we don't care. All right. All right. I don't want to get too crunk. Not tonight. CCT Me says already started seeds to looking to learn more about gardening. Okay. All right. Let's keep it moving. I'm trying to keep this going, okay? Would you like to know how to keep bees? Would you like to learn how to keep bees? Hands on. Would you like to be in the presence of beehives full of bees, nectar, honey, larvae, pollen, the whole works? Would you like to take a beekeeping class in person, staring right at them? Literally putting your hands on frames of bees and honey. Would you like to learn a little bit about beekeeping? Would you like not a virtual class, but an actual class in person? Meaning, at this same camp, 3-day camp, you will learn how to beekeep. Would you like that? Okay. I'm going to keep it moving. Yes, in person. Not no virtual, nothing. Everything is us together, learning, teaching, conversating, no gadgets, no smart devices, ain't no calling home, none of that garbage. You can't use your smart devices or electronics until you leave the campsite. And this is another one. When you are there for 3 days, you cannot leave unless you have an emergency. Like you're not coming back. Meaning, no, you can't just run down 10 miles to the local Walmart or, the gas station or no. When you're there unless it's an emergency. Because I don't want people to say, I'm going to go down there and use my phone real quick. Let me make sure they pick my packages off the porch when the Amazon men come. Nope. Okay. Would you learn how to take care of chickens? Would you want to learn how to take care of quail? Would you want to learn how to take care of ducks? Would you want to learn how to take care of pigs? Say which one you would love to take care of, or say all of them. Would you want to learn how to take care of pigs? Would you want to learn how to take care of goats and sheep? Would you want to learn how to take care of cows and bulls? Would you want to know how to take care of fish? Listen, take care of fish, meaning they're in the pond and you need to care for them. Just because they're in the pond don't mean you don't have to do anything for them. You have to take care of fish too. I'm going to keep this rolling because I don't want this to go on over an hour and a half, so I got to speed it up. Would you like to know how to fish? If you have never been fishing or you haven't been fishing in a long time, would you like to know how to fish? Meaning, making your own fishing pole out of a stick or a branch or not using anything at all but the string. Would you like to learn how to set your hook on the line? Would you like to learn how to bait your hook and throw it in and catch a fish? Okay. Now, if you want to learn how to catch fish, the next question comes, would you like to learn how to tie all kinds of knots? Because fishing and tying knots go hand in hand. Would you like to learn how to fish? And would you like to learn how to tie all different kinds of knots? Okay. Keep it coming. Would you like to know how to identify poisonous creatures from non-poisonous creatures? Would you like to know and to understand how to see that snake is not poisonous? That spider is poisonous. That bug is not poisonous. That thing right there is poisonous. Would you like to be able, I didn't say you got to pet them. I didn't say you got to put them around your neck and take a selfie with it. Would you like to know how to identify the things that can harm you, the animals and creatures that can harm you, and the animals and the creatures that cannot harm you? Okay. Would you like to know how to use a tourniquet to stop the bleeding if you had an emergency? Would you like to learn how to use a tourniquet? Okay. Now, with that, would you also like to know how to use first aid? Because just because you have a first aid kit does not mean you know how to use it. There's a lot of stuff in a lot of these already made up first aid kits that you don't know what that stuff is for inside there. Would you like to learn more about first aid? Would you like to learn how to do CPR? Would you like to learn how to do CPR? And hopefully, if I could get this right, would you like to get certified with that CPR lesson? So learning CPR to the point you can go somewhere and get certified. I ain't talking about some half-assing. I mean real CPR. Okay. And the last question that I wrote down before my wife woke up, because she took all my attention, would you love to learn how to cook over an open fire? The same fire that you created with either friction fire, your ferro rod, or your magnifying glass. Would you like to learn how to cook over an open fire? It's not the same as cooking on the stove. It's a little bit more tedious than cooking on a barbecue grill. Okay, you gotta keep your eye on it. You gotta keep the fire right. You gotta keep your pot or your pan in the right place, and you gotta use a lot of stuff so you don't burn your hands off to go retrieve your food. Would you like to learn how to cook your food, or the small game creature that you hit with the bow and arrow, longbow? Would you like to learn how to cook that small game animal over an open fire? Would you like to learn how to butcher the small game that you're going to eat? Would you like to know how to dress it, meaning basically take his little clothes off? Okay, so you can eat it, and learn how to clean it, meaning learn how to make it safe to eat. I'm not going to go into detail with that, but you understand, removing all of the removables and chopping him up so he actually looks fitting for the pot. He still don't look like he begging, please, sir, please let me go. I'll be good. That will mess your head up. Do you think you want that? Okay. Would you like to know how to can food? Would you like to know how to preserve food by salting and smoking it? Would you like to learn how to smoke your food to preserve it? Like smoking the fish, smoking the bacon, smoking the squirrel. Would you like to learn how to do that? Okay. All right. So we've been on here an hour and a half. We went over 30 minutes, but I couldn't get all these questions out. I told you this was going to be a no nonsense, let's have some fun video. I'm glad y'all all participated and answered all the questions, because I am working on, me and my wife, we're working on something to try to make all of this come true. So please stand by and be patient, and we're going to try everything we possibly can to bring this to life. All right? Where we want to be able to, and I'm not going to say I'm going to be the one teaching everybody everything. No. Okay? I want it done properly. Okay, I'm gonna answer y'all, and then we're gonna go. We at hour and a half. Sweet Thumb said, "This is why I came back. I got time for it all now." Okay. Ayana says, yes, smoking fish. My Own Beautiful says, super excited about that. Sandra says, I miss y'all. Angela says, I do canned food and I need to learn how to smoke and salt food. Sun Energy says, that would be nice. Yes, it would, wouldn't it? It really, really would. All right. Okay. All right. Sandra said, I pray I can be in the camp. All right. Miss EV says, question. We need to know what to do with our garden food. I'm not quite sure I understand your question. We need to know what to do with our garden food. I'm not quite sure I understand what you're saying. My Renaissance grandma says, can we get it all done in 3 days? No. No, we can't. Each and everything that I named off is going to be a 3-day camp. So it's not going to be just one time. We're not going to just wait one time a year. It's going to be back to back to back classes. This is all hypothetical, meaning, would you like to learn how to butcher pigs? That's going to be a 3-day camp. The reason why the other questions was like, can you even be out here in the open for 3 days? So those were the questions for that. Can you sustain yourself for 3 days without technology, right? And then the classes is the butchering the pigs and the fishing and the, so on and so forth. The supply list was part of the camp. Certain things you will need when you get there. Lighting fires, that's part of it. So all of this is going to interchange, and each one of these classes you would need one class before you could finish another one. Because if you don't know how to start a fire, every food that you cook is going to be useless. You can't cook it. If you catch small game, what you going to do? So you got to learn how to start a fire before you learn how to cook it. So those are 2 entirely separate classes. Okay. So that's it, y'all. That's it. This ain't one of my usual go-offs, rants. Nope. I wanted to hear from the people. I wanted to hear from y'all. And y'all did that. Okay. Sweet Thumb says most people have a freezer and zipper bags are cheap. Okay. Gratitude Grace says, thanks for this. I have a survival bag and have learned what some of the items have in it. I've had a year and just found out tonight. No problem. Sandra says, oh my God, will it be in the same geographical area or will it change? I don't know. Okay. So that's it, y'all. That's all I got. This was a video of questions. Do you think you could survive this? That's it. So if you got to do a replay on this video, go back and answer all the questions, put it in the comment section. And that's it, you guys. We're working on a few things and hope we can put some stuff together. With that being said, Lair Farmer 73, I love you. Stay safe, stay sane, and I'm out. Peace.